Welcome back to the channel. History is full of mysteries, but few are as haunting or as miraculous as the story we are about to tell today. This is the legend of the sleepers of the cavemen who stepped out of time to save their souls. Let's dive into the mystery, the Reign of Terror. 2,000 years ago, the world was a place of shadows and iron. In the ancient city of Ephesus, under the Roman sun, there lived a king named Decius. He was not just a ruler. He was a tyrant who demanded the soul of every citizen. Decius declared himself a god, commanding that all must bow before stone idols or face a death so brutal it would haunt the living. The streets of Ephesus were filled with the scent of incense offered to silent statues. To refuse was treason. To believe in anything else was a death sentence. But in the heart of the emperor's own palace, a fire of rebellion was quietly burning. The secret believers. 7 young men, born into nobility and raised in luxury, shared a dangerous secret. They watched the city bow to stones that could not speak and wood that could not breathe. Deep in their hearts, they knew there was only one creator, master of the heavens and the earth. They met in shadows, whispering prayers in the dead of night. But secrets in a tyrant's court do not stay hidden for long. Word reached Decius that his own favorites refused to worship his gods. Infuriated, the emperor summoned them. He looked at their youth and their status and offered a final chance. Abandon your faith by tomorrow, or your blood will water the soil of this city. The escape into the unknown. That night, the 7 youths made a choice that would echo through eternity. They traded their silks for travelers' robes and their safety for the unknown. They fled the city gates under the cover of a moonless sky, leaving behind their wealth, their families, and their past. As they climbed the jagged cliffs of Mount Anchilos, they were joined by a local shepherd. With him was his dog, a faithful guardian named Qatmir. Though the youths feared the dog's bark might give them away, the creature stood firm, as if guided by a higher power to protect them. The sanctuary of stone. Exhausted and hunted, they found a hidden cave carved into the mountainside. It was a cold, dark opening, but to them, it felt like a fortress. They stepped inside and fell to their knees, making one final plea. Our Lord, grant us mercy from yourself and dispose of our affair for us in the right way. The miracle of time. As they lay down to rest their aching limbs, a strange heaviness filled the air. A supernatural peace descended upon the cave. One by one, their eyes grew heavy. The shepherd fell back against the stone wall. The dog, Qatmir, stretched his paws across the entrance, his eyes alert but his body still. Outside, the Roman soldiers finally traced their path. When they reached the cave, an inexplicable terror gripped their hearts. Something about the darkness of that entrance felt forbidden. Decius, hearing of this, ordered the cave to be sealed with a massive wall of stone. He intended it to be their Tuma place where they would starve in the dark. But inside, the laws of physics had ceased to exist. God had turned off the clock. To protect their bodies, the sun was commanded to skip the cave. It rose to the right and set to the left, never touching them with its burning heat. Their bodies were turned from side to side by unseen hands, preventing the earth from consuming them. Days turned into decades. Decius died. His empire crumbled. New kings rose, new languages were spoken, and the very memory of the 7 youths faded into myth. For 309 years, the world moved on, while inside the cave, not a single hair turned gray. They were the travelers of time, suspended in a divine slumber, waiting for the moment the world was ready for their return. "309 years had passed. Outside the cave, the world had been reborn. The Roman Empire that once persecuted believers had long since collapsed. The city of Ephesus was now home to a new generation, a people who openly worshiped the one true God. Inside the cave, a soft light began to filter through the cracks of the decaying wall. One by one, the youths began to stir. They rubbed their eyes, stretching their limbs as if they had merely taken a long afternoon nap. They looked at each other, seeing no change, no wrinkles, no gray hair, no signs of age. "How long have we slept?" one asked, his voice raspy. "A day, or perhaps part of a day," another replied, looking at the position of the sun. They felt a deep, gnawing hunger. Their silver coins, minted in the era of King Decius, were still tucked in their robes. They decided to send one of their strongest Maximilianos into the city to buy food. "Be careful," they warned him. "Do not let anyone recognize you, or Decius will find us, a world transformed." Maximiliano stepped out of the cave, and his heart nearly stopped. The landscape was unrecognizable. The trees were different, the roads were paved differently, and the very air felt strange. As he approached the gates of Ephesus, he rubbed his eyes in disbelief. High above the city gates, he saw a flag not with the symbols of idols, but with the name of the one God. He entered the marketplace, feeling like a ghost. People stared at him. His clothes were of a fashion 3 centuries old. His speech sounded like an ancient dialect, and his hair was unusually long. He approached a bread seller and handed over a silver coin. The baker stopped and stared at the coin. He bit it, turned it over, and called his neighbors. "This man has found a hidden treasure." The baker shouted. The coin featured the face of King Decius, a ruler who had been dead for over 300 years. The revelation. Maximilianus was confused and terrified. "I have found no treasure," he pleaded. "I am from this city. I only left yesterday to escape the king." The crowd laughed, but their laughter turned to awe as they realized the truth. Word reached the governor and the bishop of the city. They brought the young man before the current king, a righteous man named Theodosius. When the king saw the ancient coin and heard the young man's story, he wept. For years, there had been a great debate in the city about the resurrection of the dead. Some doubted that God could bring life back to dust. The king realized that this young man was a living answer to their doubts. "Take us to your friends," the king commanded. The final reunion. A massive procession, the king, the soldiers, and the townspeople followed Maximilianos back to the mountain. When the 6 companions inside the cave saw the crowd approaching, they feared the soldiers of Decius had finally caught them. But as Maximilianos entered and explained the miracle, their fear turned into wonder. They stepped out of the cave to meet the king of a new era. It was a moment where the past met the future. The townspeople fell to their knees, witnessing the miracle with their own eyes. The youths realized their mission was complete. They were a sign for all of humanity that time belongs to God, and life after death is a certainty. The return to peace. After meeting the king and the people, the youths returned inside their sanctuary. They felt a sudden, divine tiredness. They lay back down in their original positions. their work as a miracle was finished. Slowly, their souls were taken back by their Creator. They didn't die in fear or pain. They simply drifted back into a sleep that would last until the end of time. The king ordered that a place of worship be built at the mouth of the cave. The dog, Qatmir, who had guarded them for 3 centuries, finally rested as well. To this day, the Cave of the 7 Sleepers remains a site of pilgrimage, a silent reminder that when you stand for the truth, even time itself will stand still for you.
The story of the sleepers of the cave is a powerful reminder that faith can overcome the greatest of tyrants, and even the passage of centuries. What did you think of this incredible journey? Let us know in the comments below. If you want to see more stories from history and mystery, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching.